His name is Paul Gibson Iri Miaga. I hope I pronounced that well. He's a pastor also with CGM in Port Harcourt. He's a trained electrical engineer. And he's someone who has just been challenged about the fact that most of the time we talk about get child, get child, get child. And boy is also a child. And I even think our culture, even in some parts of the country, actually even pays more attention. Because if I remember in my department in UBTA some years ago, one of our colleagues, there was a problem in the hospital, and one of our colleagues ran away. And we were looking for him, we couldn't find him. One of our young workers said, don't I know the reason why he ran away? I said, why? He said, me no say he never born. So I started looking. I said, what do you mean? Because this guy has 3 girls, as far as I was concerned. He said, since he never born boy, that means he never born. So, I mean, that's the kind of attention we pay to male children. But in the, care for the children, we tend to put more attention to the female children. So this man has been challenged by that, and he's been also an advocate for the male children. And he has an NGO which he uses to transfer his messages across, which he calls Boy Child Support Network. So please put your hands together as we welcome to the microphone our pastor, Remiagwa Paul Gibson of Church of God Mission, Port Harcourt. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Prof. I want to especially appreciate the leadership of the Empowered Men Fellowship for giving me this privilege to share my burden with fathers. It is a known fact that the male gender is an endangered species in our current society. Just like I said, all attention has been centered on the female gender, and nobody cares about the boys. And the boys are really the problem of the society. Who are the ones snatching ballot box during election? The male gender. Who are the ones doing Yahoo? The boys. Who are the ones doing hand robbery? The boys. But if they are properly groomed and given the right information to run with, they will become useful in the society. Today, we'll be looking at the father's responsibility to raise morally upright boys for Christ. The role of a father in raising morally upright boys is paramount, especially with the current Christian faith. This brief presentation will dive into the responsibilities fathers have in nurturing their sons, drawing inspiration from Genesis 18, verse 19. I'll be making some brief definitions of terms I'll be using in the course of this presentation. Who is a father? He is a male parent who has significant role in the development of his children. He is a protector, a provider, a mentor, and a spiritual leader within the family unit. But within the Christian context, a father is seen as the representative of God's love, authority, and guidance. Who is a boy? He is a male who is in the process of growing and developing physically, emotionally, spiritually. Boys require guidance, support, and discipline to navigate the challenges of life as they transit into morally upright men. Morals. This refers to the principles concerning the distinctions between right and wrong. Hello. Good or bad. It encompasses virtues such as honesty, integrity, compassion, and justice, which is lacking among our youth. In Christian context, moral behavior aligns with the teaching of Christ and the commandments of God. Genesis chapter 18, verse 19, NIV. For I have instructed him so that he would direct his children and his household after him to keep the ways of the Lord by doing what is right and just, so that the Lord will bring about for Abraham what he has promised him. Just like Bishop Wale made mention yesterday, in the Jewish tradition, men always lead the family, especially the boys. Once they are 12, they must learn the trade of the. That was why Jesus was a carpenter. Adult responsibilities of taking care of the home front. Let me ask you a brief question. As a father, when was the last time you take your child along while going to church? If we decide to take a statistics, it will shock us that 80% of us normally leave our children behind with our wives because we are too busy chasing, neglecting our primary, which God has given us to us by what? Leading. The importance of the father figure in the house is a spiritual leader. Fathers are the spiritual head of the family. They teach their sons about God. That are the first point of leadership. They teach their children. But just like I said earlier, how many fathers really have time introducing God's words to their sons? Very few that are dedicated doing it. That responsibility has been passed to our wives. Because most men feel it is not their responsibility. But today, I am here to remind you of your God-given responsibility and assignment. This involves regular prayers, Bible study, participating in church activities by modeling a Christ-centered life. Fathers instill strong faith foundation in their sons. Are you a good role model to your son? We have a lot of fathers that have been bad influence to their sons. Boys tend to practice what they see their father do. If you are the father that don't have respect for your wife, your son will grow up not having regard for the female gender. Are you a father that drinks and you got drunk? What kind of role model are you presenting to these boys? Boys look up to their fathers as their role model. They demonstrate, fathers who demonstrate integrity, respect, and kindness set a powerful example for their sons to emulate. I ask again, are you a good example to your father, to your son? Fathers provide guidance and discipline. Bishop Wale made a reference yesterday. Don't worry, your father is coming. What does that mean? It means it is the responsibility of the father to discipline the children. That does not mean the women don't have that power. Through consistent discipline and positive reinforcement, fathers teach their son the importance accountability, and the consequence of their actions. We don't just discipline without letting them understand the consequences of their action. Studies have shown that when you teach a child the consequences of his action, the probability of those skills avoiding those incidents is very high. But if you don't tell a child that this is the result of your action, they will repeat it. Fathers provide emotional support. Boys need emotional support to navigate the challenges of growing up. In our part of the world, when men showed emotions, they are termed weak. This is why you will always hear, men don't cry. Man up. And that is what has killed a lot of men. Because they cannot express their emotion. Just like the barrister who just left now said, men always have their safe space to discuss their issue. Do men have safe space? We don't have safe space where we can converge and discuss the issues that bother men. If you see 5 men gathering, they are discussing football, women, news, and politics. Why can't men just sit down and discuss the issue that affect them the most? Men are going through a lot of pressure. But because they don't have trust for their fellow man, they can't open up. A lot of men are depressed from work, from the home front. But they don't have what it takes to relieve that stress. And that is one of the things that is killing our men. Take a statistics in your local church. If the population is 100, you will have like 50 widows. 10 widowers. The rest are youths. Why? This life is very sweet. And Jesus has made it very simple. Don't make it too hard. Important mental health for the fathers. Stability. Fathers with sound mental health are better equipped to provide a stable and nurturing environment for their sons. Emotional stability enables fathers to respond to their sons' need with patience and empathy. We have a lot of aggressive fathers who are very impatient to even listen to these boys. It is easier to train a girl child than raising a boy. Especially when they are between 7 and 14. It takes a lot of patience to be around these boys. Because at that point, they want to experiment everything. Peer pressure is much on them. If you are not a father who is very patient, you will lose your son to the world. Positive role modeling. A father who prioritizes his mental health models the importance of self-care and well-being. It takes a man who is mentally stable to be productive. It takes a man who is mentally stable to be a good father. It takes a man who is mentally stable and sound to be a leader. If you are sick in the head, if your mind is sick, you cannot be productive. The Bible said, I wish you above all things that thou mayest prosper, in as much as what? Your soul prospered. Why is God interested in your soul? We men have to be very conscious about our mental health. Men generally don't care about their mental health. I would liken men to our taxi drivers on the road. They don't service their cars. Until it stops starting, that's when they will look for a mechanic. Men don't walk into the hospital or health facility for checkup if they are not critically ill. We need to care about our mental health if we must be good fathers to our sons. If we must raise godly boys, we must be mentally sound. A mentally sound father teaches the boys the value of taking care of their own mental health by promoting an holistic lifestyle. Let me ask, as a father, when was the last time you sat with your son and teach him personal hygiene? That responsibility has been left for the mothers. We had a program some time ago, and I asked a question. As a father, when was the last time you teach your son how to shave? Don't you think it's right? It is our responsibility to teach these boys these basic things. Effective parenting. Mental health challenges can impede a father's ability to parenting. Fathers who address these mental health issues can engage more fully with their by providing constant support, guidance, and love. A lot of sons have missed their way because they never have that fatherly love, fatherly blessings from their fathers. And that has caused a very big vacuum in society. You see boys who miss this process trying to complement that effort by doing all they can, even when their father is no more there. Men, learn to tell your sons, I love you. Learn to encourage them when they make you proud. Don't assume they know you love them. They need to hear it. It is not only the women that you tell you love them. Your sons need it. They need that emotional support from you as a father. If it is missing, they will look for it somewhere else. And that is very dangerous. The responsibility of fathers to raise morally upright boys for Christ is both profound and divinely ordained. By embracing these roles as a spiritual leader, role model, and provider of guidance and emotional support, fathers can positively shape their sons' character and faith. Only fathers who are mentally stable can be focused and overcome difficult times. Only fathers who are mentally stable can be focused and overcome difficult times. Mental health cannot be ruled out if we must overcome difficult times. You must be mentally stable. You must be prepared for the tasks ahead. As I round up, I want to bring us to what Mama said. If you don't start from the morning, your back will not be scratched at night. As a father, do you teach your sons how to do house chores? When was the last time you clean up your house? When was the last time you helped in cooking? those are the silent things we teach our boys to be responsible. It is not the duty of a woman to do house chores alone. Men, boys also do house chores. I cook. When my first son was about 3, I started teaching him how to make his bed. When I'm cleaning my toilets, I'll tell you, this is how we do it. Don't do it now because you will fall. He has been seeing me doing it. Now, why am I doing that? I don't want him to be a lazy boy, a lazy adult boy, not man. Because we have a lot of adult boys and men. When you miss these processes, you become a liability to that well-groomed girl child. That is why I wonder, when they pay so much attention on the girl child, and the boys are not groomed, who will marry the boys, the girls? It is the ungroomed boy child that will end up being a liability to that of a pampered girl child. That is the reason why we must pay serious attention to the boy child. If we must catch them young for Christ. As you go home, if you have not remembered anything I've said, remember to teach your sons house chores. Remember to teach them how to cook so that when they are out of the house, they will not be depending on one sister to cook for them, and which has caused a lot of harm to our sons. A lot of our sons that are in the higher institution, we can't vouch for them because they lack these basic skills. A young man who cannot cook is prone to a fine sister who can give him delicious food. A young man who cannot wash his clothes will be depending on a sister to do those things. Have in mind that if we must raise these God boys for Christ, we have to be a positive role model in their life. Thank you.